You looking for me, you can find me at the barbershop. Pulling up to get a cut, bumping through the parking lot. I keep it clean, Rico's where I'm running to. If you in the city, then you probably gonna be coming to. Gang getting down, Red's getting down, Nick getting down, Ron getting down, just to name a few. Everybody blade on point. You trying to get fresh, I'm telling you this the joint. Hands down, top shop up in this vicinity. Promises age 9, LaRon been getting me. Temper on the side, I'm trying to grow out the waves.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the K.O.S. Barber Club podcast, where we discuss the collection of wisdom on the science of everything in life. And we do so by interviewing our guests and seeing where they obtained a self-awareness and how they developed a self-concept to become the person they are today. And with me today, I have a friend of mine that's part of the TGT Entertainment Group. His boy, Marcellus Hayes, was here before, and he spoke fire, and he got a lot of reviews. And then Jeff was the one to reach out and say, hey, what's up? I'm next. I was like, let's do it. Yeah. So without further ado, Jeff, what's up, brother?
What's going on, world? What's going on? Go by the name of Jeff Stones, NMB's very own from North Miami Beach, Miami part of Florida. So, man, I've been doing this thing, I'll probably say maybe about 11 years rocking.
11 years rocking.
11 years rocking.
So the podcast is about knowledge of self. So like I said, how you obtained the self-awareness. Mm-hmm. What's the furthest thought that you remember as a kid? That you were like conscious
about the music or like
just
in
life? Just life, man.
As a kid, I was playing sports.
Sports?
Yeah.
So that was the when you first realized who you was?
Yeah, man. I love football. Football was like the number one thing. My sister, shout out to Kiki, like she put the football in my hand, and then I started like watching games. Like whatever that was on TV, I started watching games. I didn't have no favorite team at that point.
Okay, so Dolphins were not even in the picture?
Nah, man, it was just football in general that was just in the picture. Like
this is what, early 90s?
Yeah, just watching, mimicking what they do and stuff like that. And then as I made friends, like growing up in the Little Haiti area and North Miami area, then I began to play football outside. That's when I started to learn
from this
game.
car to that car.
Yeah, so I started learning the game and two-hand touch, street tackles, grass tackles,
wild.
Then it began to grow. And I become a Dolphin fan probably till like I was like 12, 13 years old.
And what made you become a Dolphin fan?
I saw Ricky Williams.
Hell yeah. That's my voice.
Yeah, I know there was like Dan Marino and all those, what I'm saying?
For me, Dan Marino was the man because that's his name, Dan the Man.
Yeah.
Ricky Williams is the one that...
I wasn't too indebted like with football then until I saw Ricky Williams. And I saw him.
Is the truth.
Yeah, and I was like, man, who is this guy? I want to be just like him.
Word.
So I started like running the ball just like him, like in PE in school, youth football, like just started running the ball just like him. So I just mimicked him all the way through.
So the self-awareness was when you were a kid playing football, and then you saw maybe idolize the person like, damn, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
So that was the self-concept.
Yeah.
Music was never in the mix.
Music was always there. Like I've always been a music head, especially from my uncle, rest in peace. The first thing he put in my ear was Michael Jackson.
That's everybody.
I probably was like 3 or 4 years old. That was the first thing. It was Michael Jackson, then Madonna. It was never Prince. I don't think he wasn't a Prince fan. He was a Michael fan.
Word.
So I grew up on Michael Jackson, Madonna, and stuff like that. And then the hip hop came from my mom. I was in the car one day, and I kid you not, my mom was singing First of the Month.
From Bone?
Yeah, from Bone. She kept singing that song.
That was 93, 94.
But no, 95. Yeah, so I was a kid. Like she just kept singing that song, and I'm like, man, who is it? So the first time I heard it on the radio on my own was in our living room.
Okay.
And then I'm hearing like the harmonize of it, like how they sing it all together. So that was the only part I can get was the hook. And then finally, my mom got cable TV.
And you saw the video.
We saw the video.
Even better.
So I was like, oh shoot, like these dudes got hair and I got hair. At the time I had hair too. It's like, oh man, this is
because you were doing the Ricky Williams thing.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of wanted like, to be dressed just like them. I didn't want to be like Bone. I wanted to dress like them to see how they was dressing.
With the plaid shirts. But it's cold out there. That's why they wore those shirts.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, you didn't
Yeah. That was
so
dope.
I wanted to dress like them. And never wanted to be like, just wanted to dress like them, had the hair like them. And I think like the love for hip hop came from Bone at first. Nice. I didn't know hip hop then.
So you started R&B flows first, harmonizing, and then you heard hip hop harmonized with Bone.
Yeah,
that explains a lot because I listen to your music and I hear it.
Yeah,
I hear the harmonies and I hear the slow tone pitches.
Yeah, they definitely influenced me.
Nice.
Definitely influenced.
And that was what, your middle school years, right?
From Bone.
Just from football, moving on to the musical.
Football was elementary. Football was definitely elementary. The love from Bone was like late elementary, maybe like fourth grade, grade, fifth grade. Like that's when the love
What's
of
your
Bone
favorite
came
Bone song?
from. That's tough.
I know.
I would have to say Everyday Thing.
Okay.
Not the one on Art of the War. It was the one I think it was for a movie soundtrack. I think that one came out '94. But that's my favorite Bone record. Then Days of Our Lives. Then First of the Month. And then I'll have to say Buddha Lovers. Buddha Lovers, one of my favorites.
That songs that really brings you back. That was my middle school when I was listening to that.
Oh, word?
Right, yeah, with Bone and Method Man, and who else was coming out at that time?
I didn't catch up to any of the hip hop acts till later.
Nas.
The Nas probably came 98, 99.
For you?
Yeah. So I missed out. Like,
Nah, you didn't miss out, man. You don't really find music. I believe music finds you in a way.
right.
So like in your case, I always believe that everything's written in a sense that we don't decide what happens to us. We can only decide what to do in the moment because that's what really exists, right? Time to me is like, you may plan everything and everything looks kosher, but then one little mess up,
when it goes to shit,
then you really got to see what it is that you know and adapt, which is why I told you I started this podcast to like help people that might be in that crossroads. Like, damn, no pun intended.
I mean, you're going to get there. I mean,
life is going to put you there.
It's going to get there. I think I tell my son that all the time. Like, yeah, you're doing this, but, you know, if you don't have a backup plan, then you're going to be a lost person.
Yeah, because then you have options.
Yeah, I know he'd be like, there's no backup plan, but yeah, unfortunately, like this thing called life that we live.
Right.
And, you know, you definitely need a backup plan.
How's your son?
My oldest one is 15 going on 16.
He knows everything. My daughter's turning 14 and she knows everything. I don't even talk to her about anything because she knows everything.
Right.
I'm like, you got to do this. And then she's like, no, Dad, I know. I'm like,
in reality, they don't know.
They don't know. They feel like their friends are going to be their best friends forever and they're going to be in that little group. And I'm like, listen, you're going to have a lot of good friends. You're going to have a lot of experiences. You're going to go to a lot of places. But your really true friends, you're going to realize at the end when you get older who they were.
Who's really there for you. Yeah, I preach that to all my kids. My first two oldest, I preach that to all the time. So it's like, I always tell them, like, expand your mind, expand your space.
No fear.
Your circle. And just go in. Like, you'll know who's for you, who's not for you.
Nice. So middle school, yeah, you're listening to Bone, hip hop. What was your first like attempt at doing what you're doing now?
I believe it was in high school. I think we was freshmen in high school.
What high school is this? MB?
Oh no, Miami Beach, yeah, of course. Charges for life, man. It was my homeboy Balatwan, my cousin Dubs. We were trying to like form like this rap group thing, and I think I wrote my first rhyme. My first time ever writing my first rhyme, hearing an instrumental and stuff like that.
How did that go?
Oh man, if I could remember.
You don't remember your first rhyme?
It goes, pop, 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 click, clap, blow. Real niggas in the black league. Tell me if y'all don't know fucking with me. Something all over the city. It was something like that.
Damn, you remember that?
Yeah, that was like my first. Like I've written rhymes, everything like that. That's and then we was planning on doing it, but like, you know, us in high school, like we still trying to maintain the football thing.
Correct.
So my thing is like they kept going, but I stopped. I was like, man, I want to go to the weight room. I want to start training and stuff like that. So
they kept rhyming. You just went back.
They kept going, and by the time he definitely did his thing throughout the years.
So
and,
what made you make that decision? Because that's again a crossroad.
I think I had a football injury. I was playing minor league, and a lineman just wiped my knee out. So I was sitting out for like at least 2 years. I tried to come back, but your knee ain't the same.
And it's mental too.
Yeah, like nothing was the same and everything like that. So I think it was a night where I was at my homeboy Twan house, and we was fixing to go to Las Olas, and I think this was the time Wale Ambition came around.
Oh.
Yeah, I fell in love with that beat.
That song's
hard. I fell in love with that beat. And secretly I wrote a verse. So meaning like I probably was like practice remixing and freestyle, but like Never put it out, never recorded. It was just something like me being
So
bored.
you did a remix.
Yeah, me and being bored, come from home and stuff like that, and just, you know, like just writing, whatever. But I had that in particular because of situation I was going through at that time. You know, my mom was issues with the house.
And this is this is how you vent and release.
Yeah, so I was like, man, I heard that beat, I freestyle, I wrote a verse to it. Go to his house, we all there, like, you know, we all ready to go to Las Olas. He got to go take a shower and get dressed. And I'm like, yo, Trump, do me a favor. Download this beat and just like press record for me. Da-da-da. And all right, I'm gonna set everything up. I'm gonna go inside.
He had a little MIDI studio in the crib?
Yeah, he had it. He had it. He like, yeah, I'm gonna get dressed and go inside and you know, do what you think. Cause I already knew how to record and stuff like that.
All right.
Not that much major, but I know how to do the basic, whatever.
Yeah, you want to take the vocals.
So I went in there and I wrote. I went in there and I rapped. Once I got done, he came out like, yo, you recorded something? I'm like, yeah, I recorded, but I didn't chop it up or nothing. He played it, and everybody that was in there just started bopping their head. Started bopping their head. At that moment, we forgot we was going out.
Became real.
We forgot we was going out. He started mixing, like go back and add the ad-libs, doing this, doing that. And then he said, yo, give me by the end of the night. We didn't even go out. He said, give me by the end of the night. And nice. I'm going to have it mixed down. I'm going to send it to you. He sent it to me the very morning. He called my phone like, yo, let me holler at you. I'm like, yo, I think you should take a dive into this. I was like, nah, man, I see what you going through. I don't want to stress that.
Wow.
He's like, nah, man, I got you. And then the rest was history.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think would have happened if that decision you made would have never came about?
I probably would have stayed in the path of sports. I probably would have, like, you know, I had thoughts of becoming a football coach or a recruiter and stuff like that.
Do you ever think of that?
Becoming a football coach?
No, that decision.
No, man, my goal was to be a ball player, man. Like I wanted to play ball. Right, if it was NFL or arena or something, I just wanted to play ball. That's how much I loved football.
Yeah,
at that
man,
moment.
I was the same way with soccer, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to play, and it's just you got to make a choice. That's what I'm saying. I made the choice to just walk away, in the sense of like I can continue to try and strive for this, or I could just take this other road and see where it leads me, and that's what I decided. But back in I'm talking about this was like 98, 99, 2000s, when I was young and I could make a decision, but I didn't have a foundation financially to be like, okay, I'm going to go practice for X amount of hours. And no, I have to work, you know, and then I have to look for an apartment, and then I got to go to this, and I got to go to college. It was nuts.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened with me when reality struck when my first kid was born, as he was getting older and stuff. So
You want me to fill you up?
Yeah, appreciate that.
So how old was it when you had your first kid?
How was I?
Yeah.
Probably 2021.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Damn, you're getting it in, huh? NMB.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my mom was very pissed off.
I mean,
she felt like I wasn't focused.
Cheers to the kids, man, because I know that saved my life.
Yeah, I got four beautiful boys.
And that's it, you're done?
Yeah. That's about it. That's about it.
So, yeah, man, back to that question, the decision making, because knowledge of self, the podcast is about, you know, the collection of wisdom. At that time, you didn't have the wisdom. Did you use your intuition, or was it like a mystic thing that just happened?
It wasn't an intuition. It was like something I was given a try. Like, you know, let me see if I can do something. I think that year, it was like 2013, 14, 2014, 2013. That year, it was just a lot of recordings. Nothing came out. It was just a lot of recording. Probably put some stuff out on YouTube, but nothing. You
Solid.
know, at that time when it was official, you had something on that piff.
Okay.
That's how you know, like, okay, you drop one mixtape, you got to drop another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to back it up.
Yeah. So it was nothing official that year. So it was all like just recording.
Wow. So yeah, you were sharpening your sword.
Yeah. So shout out to Chippy, shout out to Twine. They was telling me like, man, just focus on recording, focus on your rhymes and everything. When the right thing comes out, we put it out and stuff like that. So that's what we was doing. We were just building, and then we had this. Me and Chippy, like, we had this one thing that, like, you know what? Finally, I think this something could come out. So it was me and my DJ Chippy. he was rapping at the moment. It was off the Mac Miller Loud.
Okay.
Yeah, it was off of that beat. We did something there, and we was like, man, I think we should take it to the underground station at the time. You know, that was popping and everything.
What was that? 92.7.
Yeah, 88.7. You know, all those underground station that was lit then, and then we took it to them. They kept it in rotation.
Oh, word?
So yeah, so that was like, okay, so this is how this feel like to hear your voice on the radio.
How did that feel?
Unreal.
Right.
That felt unreal. I still to this day is like, I think that's what always gave me that hunger vibe, like to make a hit. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to hear my voice on the radio.
Did it feel like sports, like when you score?
Yeah, like winning the Super Bowl, like winning the championship. Right. You want another one and another one, another one. So at that moment, it was just like, okay, maybe I do got something going on.
Nice.
So within that, you know, my the team then used to have like our own production studios.
Okay.
And we should take the main room. The main room could probably fit like 100 something. So they built the stage, they put it in the main room, speakers and everything, and then they used to have like every Friday, Saturdays, their own event, like an own studio party.
Nice.
And it was lit every Friday, Saturday. It was going on for maybe like a year or whatever. And then like I think the third time we did it, we decided to shoot the video for that live remix. And it went crazy. And then at the time when we shot the video, we had people do cameo like C-Ride at the moment. Zoe Dollars came and did some cameos to the video. Like it turned me up a notch. Like, okay, I gotta keep this going, and that's what just kept me building until I was on my own in 2014, and I released my first mixtape. Long story short.
Wow. So what made you decide? Okay, I'm gonna go on my own.
Honestly, like the friendship was parting ways.
Okay, you were more focused and
driven. They was like going off on the deep end. Like, you know, one just wanted to do beats, DJ, another one just wanted to do songwriting. I'm over here still trying to be an artist. It was, you know what I'm saying? So like everything just started to separate. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just find a studio myself. And let me see if I can know some producers myself. And that's where I started to expand. Nice.
So, yeah, I asked that question because it's part of, like, intuition and understanding yourself. Because I always tell people, like, throughout life, I've always had thoughts, right? And I hear my thoughts in a way like, nah, don't do this. Don't go this way. Or, man, you should think about this.
Right.
And I always ask people if they have these thoughts. And a lot of people say, yeah. Some people react to them, respond, and make a better decision, or they don't. So that's why I was asking that question. Like, what made you want to be like, yo, I'm doing this by myself? But you said you saw that people were going in different directions.
Yeah.
And then you
and
pretty much had to talk to yourself and be like, all right, I'm going to do this by myself.
Yeah, because I didn't want to follow. I didn't want to follow. I didn't want to follow.
Don't ever follow.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. Be yourself. And if people don't like it, it's all good because it's you.
Welcome.
It's authenticity. Remember that. Oh, and always stay real. You'll never lose.
Yeah, I didn't want to follow. I wanted to see if I can do it myself.
So that was 2014.
Yeah, that was 2014.
So now we're 2025. What has changed from then to now?
Man, a lot, man. More relationship. Like that's a blessing. More relationship that I involve myself with a lot of great people, and it's off being authentic. No payola. No, nothing. It's just going and shaking hands.
Artist fellowship.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Continue the old methods. You know, the old ways never change. You know, it always works.
Since the ancient times, man.
Yeah, that's me going, shaking hands, you know, me going to meet people, introducing to myself. Like, you know, it's easy to do it through social media, but it's a different aspect when you meet a person face to face.
That's the best way because you feel the energy, the
word
vibe.
Of mouth. Yeah. Word of mouth. Yeah, can't go wrong with word of mouth promo.
Word of mouth promo. So what you been up to now as of late? I saw you dropped a new single or a new track.
A new album, man. Rather Be This Is 3. Yeah, even my girl, like she pointed out, like you know, it's been like 5 years since you dropped another installment of the Rather Be This Is 3, and I was like, yeah, like I went through a lot.
So you're taking everything you experienced throughout since the last one to this one and put it all together.
Yeah, but it's not everything is in that album though.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's still something that's saved.
Nice.
You know, that's like probably deep. You know, probably ruined some friendship and relation and family situation. Yeah, you know what I mean? I really haven't gotten deep.
Why is that?
I said,
because usually I mean I know a lot
it's
of
a
artists.
sacrifice.
Okay,
Gotta,
that's
you know,
annoying.
am I ready to lose? If I go this deep, you know, am I ready to not hear from my mom again, not hear from my sister again, not hear from certain friends again? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Damn. So how you gonna deal with that emotion or that thought, man?
it's mental preparation.
Word.
You know, mental preparation. Like just telling myself, man, at the end of the day, like in this world, it's only me and my 2 feet.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? That when I get buried, like, ain't no one coming with me.
Yes. I tell my wife that all the time. I'm like, yo, man, you may say this and you love and all that and everybody, but at the end of the day, it's always you. You're gonna came alone. What is it the saying? You're born alone, die alone.
Yeah, it took a lot for me going through life to really understand that, because I'm always the one that like I gotta like be around people to make sure they're okay. You know, call, text. You know, I'm always giving myself to people.
Yeah, but that's your character.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there hasn't been like years or moments where it's like, let me just focus on Jeff. Let me just do what Jeff. You know what I'm saying? I'm always, the thoughts of other people is always in my head and my heart.
That's good though. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's a good problem.
It's a pro and a con. You know, the con thing is you forget about yourself. When you forget about yourself, like you forget how you look, how to dress, you know, how to speak, how to you lose your self-esteem because you know
it's stressful.
Yeah, you know, because you done gave so much to another person and stuff like that.
So you're preparing yourself mentally for that emotional trip, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I've been through that emotional trip. Not to say it didn't end, but you know, I've been through the worst where I couldn't focus, I couldn't eat, and I couldn't swallow. And then it's like, yeah, man. Then it's like something triggered me to be like, you know what, Jeff, enough.
Again, the
Like,
intuition, man.
yeah,
Are you a spiritual
enough.
person?
Some people say I am, but I feel like I'm more like a reality check person. Like,
Okay.
you know, like I've gone through the mud, I slid through the mud, I done bathed through the mud and everything.
And you made it out.
And I'm making it out.
Oh, you're making it
I'm
out.
making it out.
So once you're out, that's when you're gonna pretty much let everybody know how it was.
yeah,
That's a good story, though.
Yeah,
That's a good story.
I mean, isn't that our life? Like creating the greatest story.
Correct. Correct. That's right.
That's our life, is creating the greatest story. Because I mean,
cheers to that, man.
if
I like that, creating the story. Word.
you know, if everything stayed the same every year, you ain't do nothing.
I mean, I don't know, man, because like I just told you, time to me, like I feel like life is long because I'm at the 40-year-old age and I'm thinking back on time and I'm like, damn, I think I've forgotten more than I remember.
That's usually what happens.
And
as
then
you
we
get
could
older.
double up. So I could live another 40 years. So imagine all that ride, but with new knowledge or new insight. So now like I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, you don't know what's coming. So knowledge itself is very important.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that.
I feel like knowledge, you got to go back and forth. You got to go through the past. You got to stay in the middle, and you got to look towards the future.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, tend to not want to look back, but when you look back at, you know, your past or stuff like that, that's when you don't gain so much knowledge. Like you don't even know. Like you don't know because everything was all in a blur. But
And it's fast.
yeah, it's fast. So I'm a firm believer, like taking the pause of everything, like stopping everything and just, you know, sitting down and just thinking.
Meditating.
Yeah, sitting down and just
thinking with
thinking
your
and stuff.
thoughts. That's the way to do it. I mean, it's what's worked for me. And I always, what is that saying? Like a fool thinks he knows everything. So I know I don't know everything. What I always tell people is like, all I know is that I don't know. And with that saying, I never feel like, oh, this is the real, this is the truth. I pretty much let my intuition guide me. I stick with my integrity and I just do what I think is right. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you make a mistake, you know, like you said, sometimes you focus on other people more than yourself. And then because of that little decision, you drop the ball.
Yeah.
And then you got to pick it back up and start all over again.
But I mean, I'm always a fan of starting all over again.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because I take what I've learned on to the new. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the old trick was, the old, whatever it was, this is something new. Okay, now I'm going to do this better. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you find yourself in that same situation again.
True.
And then now you got to adapt to whatever decision
with
or
the
choice.
knowledge you have.
Yeah, with the choices you make. You know what I'm saying?
So when you write, do you sometimes get to like writer's block and you just throw it away and start over?
I'm very like when it comes to a concept record.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is for me is like it's freestyling. Like I got to freestyle to the beat.
Okay.
And then if during the freestyle, like I'll voice record myself, like maybe like 15 times, 20 times.
Okay.
Off of one beat.
Okay.
Cause like if I'm driving or I'm in a room or whatever,
Freestyling.
I'm just freestyling. Fucking around and just freestyle.
Oh, and then you pick the best out of all of them.
Yeah, sometimes I'm saying some real. There's nobody in the room, nobody listening. That's what sucks. But
nah, I think that's what's
but
best.
When I go back on it, I'm like, whoo, I said that shit. Oh my god! So I capture it and I write it down.
Yeah.
And then when I look through the whole thing, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put this here, this first, this go on the second verse and stuff like that.
So you build, like you stack it.
Yeah, I
That's
build
a
and I
good
stack.
method.
I'm letting y'all niggas know my secret. That's crazy.
That's good though, man, because artist fellowship, and there's a kid out there that wants to rap.
Yeah.
And he heard your music and he
Yeah.
wants to know how you did it. Now
Well, I
they know.
mean, I believe like you got to be a fan of the beat.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing, like, yeah, I can rap on anything. It's like you rap on anything, you just saying anything, so nothing means
Yeah,
nothing.
you got to go with the flow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I like to create records, and I get that a lot from Busy Bone. Like he likes to curate records.
You know they're dropping a new album, right?
Bone?
Yeah, they're recording.
I know they got a new song. They got a new song.
They're recording, bro. I've been watching. I've been
Off
hearing.
5 Live.
All of them are in the studio.
Making my heart jump right now. All 5 Live.
All of them. If I find the post, I'll send it to you. But I send it to a lot of people that I know are Bone fans. I'm like, yo, check this out. And they show the studio, and all of them are there.
Because recently I've been seeing Busy Bone popping in the shows.
Yeah, but Busy was there getting down, and then you show the studio, and they show everybody they're not in their
That
head.
means the check cleared. If Busy in the studio recording, if he did, that means the check cleared.
Like you said, man, sometimes you got to look back but not regret and just move forward and try to make moves, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could talk to Bone. I wish we could talk to
the
Busy.
demand for the music is there, man. They just got to do it. You know,
Yeah.
they got to get over whatever hurdles they have, and people want it. I mean,
Facts.
every time they drop something, it's felt, so
That's a fact.
why not?
Fact.
So with that said, bro, you got the new album coming out. Any shows or anything that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, Rather Be This Is 3, the album is out now. Shows, man. I just did shout out to Peso. His shows be live, man.
Peso,
Grumpy OGs, they was out there too.
Grumpy OGs, man,
Yeah.
with Crazy Hood. They're doing their thing. They're hilarious, bro.
Yeah, they was out there too at the show, and man, I forgot one of them like pointed me out, like, yo, I saw this dude, Jeff Stones, tear the stage up, and I was like, man, this is what I do it for, you know what I mean? Like
Recognition amongst your peers.
recognition, man, is like, especially from a pioneer. I was like, fuck, man, this feels amazing. I got to keep going, man. And I did a show for Lucrative Youth. They have like this block party thing going on. Mm-hmm. And the turnout is amazing, surprisingly.
Word?
Like, yeah, man. Like normally when people do like first things event, like you don't really get that much of a crowd and stuff like that. But man, like,
Yeah, I be seeing you be doing a lot of shows lately.
oh yeah, like that's shaking, kissing hands and kissing babies when you out there doing shows. I feel like that's one of the lost art of artistry right now.
Yeah, you know why? Because people just want to get likes and follows.
And it's like
They don't want to follow and like people. You know what I'm saying?
and
It's
you
like,
wonder why, like, they're there like this and not there again for 5 years. You know what I mean? Like Rick Ross joining the Millennium Tour. Like you gotta go out and tour. You gotta go out. Like you still want to do this music thing. I
at the
really
end of
feel
the
like
day, you're an artist.
you still got to do the grind work, and I feel like that's what's missing throughout the industry. A lot of people just on TikTok and look, 1 million views, cut me a check, and it's like when they go out on stage, and it's like people only know about 10 seconds of the record.
Correct.
They don't know the rest of it.
Yeah, Craze wrote something about that today on a post. Shout out to Craze. Trying to get him in here. He said something he said that people nowadays, you tell people, yo, I'm dropping an album or I'm dropping a record. And they're like, oh, how many likes did it get? Or how many followers did you have? Like they don't ask what created or what inspired the art. It was more about, okay, how was the reaction to the art?
Yeah, I
Like,
hate
that's
that.
what people care about.
Yeah,
And I was like, damn, I feel that. That's real. Because nowadays you could tell somebody, like I tell them about the podcast. Yeah, I got this podcast. Oh man, that's cool. How many subscribers you got? How many followers you got? They don't even ask me what it's about.
That sucks.
It's what it is.
It
And I've been thinking about that lately, and I'm like, bro. And then I've had friends that are asking me questions like, yo, how come you don't have it on this platform and you don't have it on that platform? And I'm telling them like, yo, man, I first want to get this grounded. Like, you know, like you were sharpening your sword.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I'm trying to get to a point where now when I'm all platforms, I could expand quicker, faster, and still hold it down.
And eventually it will get there. Like, you take, for instance, like Joe Budden. It was on SoundCloud.
For years.
Nobody
was listening.
You know what I'm saying? But no one listened, but they didn't stop him.
Exactly.
He kept that thing going. So it's like, you know what? Let's set up a camera.
Word.
And it was just step by step by step. Then Spotify started opening the doors. Started opening the doors for the industry. And it was like, okay, let's work something out with Spotify. Yeah. Then he got SoundCloud and Spotify. Then he just started to go and go and go. And you look at it now, it's like going on to it. So like people wasn't there. They don't understand what
is it? Joe Rogan? He did the same thing. I think it's 8 years before he even got noticed.
Mm-hmm. So it's someone told me, if you stay consistent with the same grind by your 7-8 year, you start seeing a change.
Yeah, but you gotta have that dedication, and you gotta have that.
There was
grind in you.
There was a moment where I was losing because like I think I was going through relationship issues. So you know it's not easy when the home is not at peace.
Correct, because the mind's not so. Yeah,
it's not easy when the home is not at peace. So I was dealing with that issue. I was dealing with work, friendship, pulling me here, pulling me there, and then I think I told myself like, man, I'm gonna do this one project and that's it. I'm done with this. Yeah, this was Rather Be Distant. This is I started working on it 2018. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna just do it. So 2019 come, I holler at my best friend, my engineer, Ice, the producer. I'm like, yo, I need 3 days straight in the studio.
Okay.
Put me 3 days, 5 hours, 3 days each. Oh my God. Went in there and I just started recording first. Second day, recording. Sounds good. Third day, I recorded a record called Devil's Playmate.
Wow.
Recorded a record called Devil's Playmate. Man, the studio session was for 5 hours. We stayed stuck mixing that song for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And then come back to tell me like, yo, I think this is the one.
What? That was the third day.
Yeah, that was the third day.
The final stretch.
Yeah, he like, I think this is the one. I'm like, I don't know. So I never put out a single. I think this is what stopped me from putting out singles. So I put out the project. Everyone's liking the project, but everyone kept reposting Devil's Playmate. So everyone's putting in their story. They put in on their Twitter. They put in on this is Devil's Playmate. So I'm like, all right. It took me to perform the record for me to be like, okay, this is definitely the one. This is where I met TGT. They had like their own show thing going on.
Okay.
I performed Devil's Playmate there, and like the whole crowd was just the focus because of the beat
and the energy
and my tone of voice of that record. You know, so that for the set, like for that tone of that record, everyone's like with a drink in their hand, like,
whoa, okay.
And
but you had that frustration, and you were like, if I'm going out with this
knocking.
one.
So
nice.
As I get off stage, I'm shaking hands like, yo, that last record, that last one, what's that thing called? Devil's Playmate. It comes out in March. And it wasn't even out yet. So it comes out in March. So when the project comes, the anticipation was already there.
Okay.
And everybody's chimed in. Then I get a phone call. Hey, this is from VH1 Cartel Crew. We saw your page, man. Do you want to come perform? We're filming a show. I'm like,
nice.
You said the Cartel Crew? Yeah. When you perform, we expect you got to perform that record especially. I'm going to send you over the contract. I'm like, all right. And then that's when I met Papa Keith for the first time. And then that had that whole audience stunned because the energy. When I performed that record, I got to put my whole soul into that record. And then from that, came knocking on the door, 99 Jams, Super Sydney, Tony MC, like, they all came knocking, like, yo, bring that record over here. Brought the record to 99 Jam. They got it on spin. I think 6 months after that, 103.5, yo, DJ Bulletproof, Papa Key, yo, bring that record over here. And then I think that same year, we had an opening for Bone Thugs and Harmony at Revolution Live.
I remember that.
Sold out show. Sold that show. We performed, but I kid you not. The best part, I probably could have died that night. I really give a fuck.
You got your props.
No, I met Bone, man.
Yeah,
dog. Like, that's I met the DJ came out first because we was like doing a rehearsal, right? And we playing with the mic and everything. And some dude, like, grown ass voice came out, like, oh, okay, yeah, this how it looks. I look back, I'm like, oh, you position. Like, what's going on? I'm like, you Bone DJ. Like, are they here? He's like, no, not yet. I'm like, oh, shoot. So I go back Revolution Live. I'm like, damn, I'm about to be in the same room as Bone.
Yeah.
This is like, yo, I don't even want to perform no more. I just want to sit on this couch and just wait right here, whatever. but I had a job to do, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But I kid you not, like, man, the blessed part about it is, like, we was the only openers. There was no one else in between, so it was our names.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What I heard was you said, this is the last joint I'm going to do. You went to the last track that you were recording.
Mm-hmm.
You took your time, and then you ended up going towards these new, I guess, steps in your career.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe that was something like mystical that got you in that realm so you wouldn't quit?
Oh, that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still doing that.
See what I'm saying? That's why we were talking earlier. Like, you could plan things out.
Mm-hmm.
You could say you're going to do them, but if you're destined or it was written for you to do what you got to do, there's no way that you're going to lose if you do the righteous path, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to get across on the podcast. Like, yo, you knowledge yourself, self-awareness, self-concept, honesty, integrity, harness the energy, exercise wisdom, and you're good.
That's why I was asked, like, man, like, why I've been through what I've been through. You know, I asked God, like, why I've been through what I've been through. And then I'll meet someone who will tell me what they're going through. I'm listening. I'm like, man, I went through this shit like 4 years ago.
You'd be surprised, man. That's why it's
4 years
important.
ago.
It's important to really express what you're feeling.
Yes.
It's really important to not emphasize on some dumb shit. Like, you got to really feel what you're saying and say what you feel.
So I really appreciate the people that text and call me or, like, yo, Jeff, I need advice. Because it's like, I become a life counselor to these people.
I'm a barber, trust me.
And
I know what
like,
that is.
I got my experience of life, what I've been through, to back it up and to tell you, like, I wouldn't do that if I was you, or do this instead. You know what I mean? Because if I was just, you know, a dolly person that didn't really, like, do much or moved around like that, like, I wouldn't have much experience to express.
Your experience has you where you're at, and where you're at has you speaking to the world, man. And I feel that your talents are there. And I heard the mixes, I heard the songs, I've heard everything, and I'm like, damn, this is good vibe.
Yeah, that's shout out to Ice, man. Ice, the producer, who really niched my sound. It's a crazy story. This is like maybe like 2015, 2016. Yeah. This is when I Love McConan and Drake was friends. Mm-hmm. There was a record, Club on a Tuesday. I did a remix to it.
Okay.
But, you know, the way how soft the beat is, I didn't know how to come into that record. Okay. I didn't know how to come in. The way I was rapping on it, like, it didn't sound, the lyrics was there, but it didn't sound
the way you wanted it.
So we kept recording. And then Ice was like, Jeff, like, what do you spend your money for, man? What do you spend your money for? So I started yelling on his ass. So the crowd's going up. Get money on the bin now. Like, you want it like that? He's like, hey, do that again. Do that again.
Lord. So you were trying to...
He's like, do it again. So I kept doing it, and then the whole thing just flowed.
The piece was put.
It just flowed. It just flowed. And the second time it worked, I had a record called NMB District. Shout out to NMB. They know that record. I had a record called NMB District. And the way we sat on that record, like recording wise, is my voice sounded like I'm talking, and then when the hook comes in, it sounds like I'm singing and yelling. But it just mashed well together.
It goes with the tempo and the melody.
To this day, that record sticks. Whenever I flow through my city, NMB District, what up, Stones? NMB District, like, it's a stamp.
Nice.
It's one of the stamps throughout the city and stuff like that. So it's like, I think Ice, like, he's still my engineer to this day, engineer and producer.
Yeah, it sounds like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's asking the best from you and demanding it.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
That's cool, man. That's what's up. So what else is up now that's coming up, like, after this album drops? What's next?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the exclusive. I'm working on a new project titled Anti-Sober. It's definitely a lit and conscious at the same time.
Nice.
It is about drinking. I didn't want to pertain too much of the smoking. I'm more of a drinker than a smoker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because my name is Jeff Stones.
Yeah.
but hey, as you age, as you grow, it's like, you know, life changes and,
Word.
you know what I'm saying? It's like your younger days, yeah, you're smoking heavy every day. And then as you get older, you know, you start to stress. So it's like, man, I need a shot. I need a drink and stuff like that.
Yeah, the anxiety gets real.
Yeah, definitely. So, but this project is titled Anti-Sober. And it's not just like, I'm not diving deep into the liquor. It's like I'm explaining why I'm drinking liquor.
Correct. All right, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's diving into that, but it's titled Anti-Sober.
Anti-sober. I want to hear that. I'm looking forward to it. All right, brother, we got to the point where the episode that we're going to talk about some questions. All right? So you've seen the movie Bronx Tale, right?
Which movie?
Bronx Tale? That's the one with Robert De Niro and they're like gangsters.
Okay, yeah. Don't remember much, but yeah, I remember.
All right, there's a scene where the kid asked one of the mobsters, he's like, would you rather be loved or feared? How do you feel about that question?
Would you rather be loved or feared?
Yeah.
Feared.
Okay, why is that?
Fear is when you fear something, I kid you not, your mind and heart, soul, body, and spirit goes left, right, up, down, side to side, straight ahead to the back.
Okay. I see.
It's everywhere. So your feelings, it's everywhere. This ain't no between. It's everywhere. But you know what you're fearing.
Okay.
You know what's going on. I feel like love is you get to lie about it.
Ooh, that was the message.
You get to lie about it. I could sit here and
I
be
know.
like,
Once you said that, I know, bro. Like a Rolodex of
yeah,
memories.
you can't lie
liar. Don't lie about love.
Yeah, you can't lie on fear.
Hell yeah, Jeff. That's fucking amazing.
You can't lie on fear.
Wow.
Cause fear, it shows.
Word.
It tells you. It shows. It's there. But you can lie on love. I could sit here and be like, I love you.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
And then I go in my car and just laugh at it. I just told this nigga I love him. You know, whatever.
I mean, it's an emotion. It's nice. Hopefully everybody loves each other. But the reality of it is some people love you because it's in their benefit. You know what I'm saying?
There's something benefiting.
Very rare do people love you and it's genuine love.
There ain't no benefit in fear.
All right. That was a great answer. All right. Knowing or understanding?
Understanding.
Why is that?
Understanding has many reasons.
Okay.
Like why it happened, why it didn't happen, why it's going to happen, why it may happen.
So once you understand,
you
got it.
Like, knowing is you feel like this is it, but turns out it's not.
Nice. All right. Wealth or riches?
Oh, that's tough. Wealth or riches?
Yeah. Which one you want?
Wealth.
Jeff, which one you want? Wealth or riches?
Wealth.
Okay.
Riches is like a 15-minute fame.
Nice.
You know, wealth is longevity.
Of course. All right. We spoke about this earlier. We could recap on it. Perception or reality?
Reality.
Why is that?
Perception is imagination.
Okay.
Reality tells you what the fuck it is.
All right. Joy or happiness?
Joy.
Why is that?
Joy is peace. Happiness is 15 minutes fame, 15-minute moment.
Okay.
Walking to work in a good ass move, gas tank full, paycheck here. I'm happy. Hey, we need you to do a double today. No one showed up. No one's not going to show up tonight.
Happiness ends right there.
That thing is done. But if
Then
you
when you
love,
get off, yeah.
but if you love your job, if you
joy.
love what you do, hey, we need you to do a double. Hey, yeah, I don't mind. I love this place. I love what I do. That's joy.
Nice. The power of choice. What do you think about that phrase?
The power of choice.
Yeah.
Deadly.
Deadly?
That shit sounds deadly.
Yeah. Why?
A power of choice. A power of choice.
The power of choice.
That shit sound. I mean, man, yo, you give
That's your new next track right there. Power of choice.
You give a man too much power. Ain't no telling what you could do with it, man.
Oof. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I used to always hear the Old Testament was a deadliest times.
That's what they say, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I used to hear that, but it explained like the power that God at that moment had, like strike you dead at the moment, the power of choice.
Yeah. Okay. Good problems. What do you think about that term?
Good problem. That sound like a shirt. Good problems. Good. Something I'd rather have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you have too much money, you don't know who to give it to.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to think too hard how to solve it. When you have good problems.
Pain versus suffering.
Pain.
Yeah.
I'll choose pain.
Why is that?
Suffering, that shit lasts. That shit stucks. It sticks.
It's like joy and happiness put off.
Yeah, that shit sticks.
All right, and the last one, logic or intuition?
Logic.
Why is that?
Intuition is a feeling.
Okay.
You know.
And logic is the collection.
Yeah,
of wisdom.
logic is there, is not. It's right or it's wrong. Intuition is a feeling.
Hell yeah, man. Yo, man, this episode's been great, man. You spoke a lot of gems. You said it a lot. I appreciate you, man. Give everybody your handles and where to contact you and when to see you. What's up next?
Man, yeah, go to Google, search Jeff Stones. Nah, I'm playing. That sounds too bougie. Yo, Instagram, Jeff_Stones. Twitter, Jeff Stones Music. YouTube, Jeff Stones. Apple Music, Jeff Stones. Spotify, Jeff Stones. Rather Be This Is 3. The album's out now. My heart and my mind, yo, it's platinum already. Yeah, man, fuck with me. I fuck with you back. I do reply to DMs. I don't want people to think like, oh yeah, he don't reply, but yeah, I get to it. Trust me, I get to it.
He does. Trust me. All right, Jeff, thank you for coming out through, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Forever grateful, man. And for the viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Harness the energy, exercise wisdom, live, love, and laugh. Peace.